Hi everybody, and welcome to Mrs. Swisstack's Art Room on the Couch. Today I'm going to give you a quick video tutorial on how to do the optical illusion assignment in your self-guided packet. You will need a ruler, a pencil, a piece of drawing paper, and yes, of course, eventually you're going to need some kind of something that you want to color with. My material of choice is markers. You might want to try some colored pencils, crayons, whatever you have in hand. Although, if you don't have any coloring materials on hand, just stick with your pencil. It'll work out just fine. Now, if you're following the instructions in the packet, it tells you to start out with a circle on your drawing paper. Now, do you have to use a circle? Absolutely not. You can use any basic shape. I don't suggest using a shape that has too many straight edges. Maybe something that's round, a heart, a letter, a basic shape of a leaf, whatever you'd like to use. And you're going to pick a point on your piece of paper here, and you're going to start out by drawing that little shape kind of small. I personally am going to do a heart. So here I go with my little tiny heart shape. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be particularly straight. Now, what the instructions do tell you is that you're going to draw around your shape repeatedly, making it larger and larger. So I'm going to just go around my heart, and I'm going to keep getting larger and larger. And even if my shape goes off the side of the paper, I'm still going to continue on. And yes, you can do more than one shape if you would like, but that does click up the difficulty notch just a little bit. So just for example, over here I'm going to do the same thing. Make myself a little heart. And then I'm going to start doing exactly what I did before, making it a little bit larger as I go along. And once again, doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. It's going to come out great, even if it is not totally spot on, absolutely 100% perfect. Now yes, it does get a little tricky where the two shapes bump up next to each other, but I'm just going to keep on keeping on. Actually, maybe I'll just fill in the space just like this, just so that you can see. Here we go. Can you see how I'm doing this? I know the pencil is a little bit hard to see, but you should be able to get the idea of what I've done with my pencil here. Okay, now my next step, once I'm finished filling my piece of paper here with my shapes, is I'm going to take my ruler or my straight edge, whatever happens that you happen to have on hand, and I'm going to place it even with the side of my paper. Alright, so I've got the edge of my ruler right up against my piece of my drawing paper, and I'm going to just draw a straight line. And then I'm going to slide this right over, and I'm going to draw another straight line. And I'm going to keep doing this as I go across my piece of drawing paper. Now, when I do this in class, I often get a lot of kids who draw their lines really super close, and that's cool too. It's just going to take you a lot longer, and you can notice that since I am not drawing flat on the table, my lines are not entirely straight, and you know what, hey, I'm okay with that. It's still going to come out looking pretty awesome, even if your lines aren't totally spot on 100% perfect. Okay, I think I can fit one more line right here at the end of my page. And yes, I know, it's a little crooked, and this last little space is not totally the width of my ruler, but hey, that's alright. Art is all about improvising. Okay, so now I'm ready to grab my colored markers, and I'm going to start out with one color. My favorite color happens to be red, so I'm going to go with red. Now, typically when you do this assignment, you're going to pick two colors. One color, for example, red, and maybe black, or orange, or yellow, or whatever colors are your favorite colors. And now, I'm going to start coloring like I'm coloring a checkerboard. Okay, so say I'm going to start here. I'm going to fill in this space right here. Fill it in completely. Now, when I say color it in like a checkerboard, that means you're going to have to skip this piece right here. So this piece is going to be my second color, but this right here is going to be red. So I'm going to go ahead, use my marker, fill this one in to be red. Okay, and then I'm going to go skip a space. That's going to be my second color, and this one's going to be red. Now as I go down the row, and I highly recommend you work in the rows, you're going to continue along, coloring every other space using whatever color you're choosing. Now if you don't have markers at home, like I said before, you can simply shade it in with your pencil. It's going to look awesome and fabulous anyway. And if you are a person who likes your pencil to look nice and smooth, of course you can use your finger to blend it, or Q-tip, or if you're super fancy and artsy and you have some blending tools, this is where you would go ahead and fill those shapes in nice and smooth with your blending tool. Okay, so that's my first row, all complete. Now when I get to my next row, okay, so when I get over here to my next row, this one here is red. This one is going to be my second color. So I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to make this one red. And quickly color that one in. And then this one is going to stay my second color, and this is going to be red. So you can see how the shapes alternate with your different colors. Now, I've seen some people do this and skip around. I don't recommend that you skip around and work while you're working on this. I recommend that you work in each row, because if you work in different spots, you're going to mess up your pattern. And yes, you are coloring in the pattern. Here, I got some blue here. So I'm going to use my blue just so that you can see that when I do start putting in my second color, you'll see how that is going to work as well. Okay, so this one is going to be blue, and that means my center heart is going to be red, and I'm going to keep on keeping on till this whole entire thing is done. And of course, when I'm totally complete, I'm going to post the image of my completed piece of art on our Google Classroom so you can see what it looks like when it's finished. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope you were able to get a little bit of understanding on how this optical illusion works. And when it's all finished, it kind of gives it like a ripple kind of effect. Don't forget, when you're all finished, to either email me your finished pieces of art to jswistak@rowway.net, or you can upload it to the Google Classroom following the instructions on the Classroom Free page. I did put some instructions on how to either upload photos from your, your iPads or your Apple devices or your Android devices, depending what device that you're using. So I hope you're doing well. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll be talking to you soon. Stay well, everybody.